Have you ever sat in a room full of people, watched ideas bounce across the table, and felt your own thoughts pressing against your ribs like they wanted to escape? Have you ever walked out of a discussion replaying sentences in your head, thinking, "I should have said that"? But the moment had already passed. This story is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is about learning to stop hiding inside it. In a fast-growing business district filled with mirrored skyscrapers and crowded metro trains, a 29-year-old data analyst named Emma worked on the 18th floor of a glass building called Northbridge Tower. Emma was average height and slim, with thoughtful brown eyes that tracked details most people ignored. She wore pale blue or cream blouses tucked neatly into dark trousers. Her straight chestnut hair stayed tied in a low bun with a simple clip. Thin silver glasses rested on her nose. Her desk sat near a wide window that reflected the skyline back at itself. On her desk were three things she never moved: a stainless steel water bottle, a small cactus in a white pot, and a black leather notebook filled with careful handwriting. Emma did excellent work. She clicked through spreadsheets with speed. She cleaned messy datasets line by line. She built forecasting models that made the numbers feel almost alive. But in meetings, she disappeared. Every Monday at 9 a.m., the analytics team gathered in conference room 3B. Bright white lights hummed overhead. A long oval table stretched across the room. A massive screen glowed at the front. David, tall and confident in crisp shirts and tailored jackets, always chose the chair closest to the projector. He leaned back casually. He tapped his pen on the table. He spoke quickly, often and sometimes over others. Their manager, Ms. Reynolds, sat at the head of the table. She wore structured blazers. She listened carefully. She asked sharp questions. Emma sat midway down the table. She opened her laptop. She typed notes quietly. She highlighted numbers on her screen. When Ms. Reynolds asked, "Any additional insights?" Emma's fingers hovered over her trackpad. She glanced at her notebook. She saw a pattern others had missed, but David cleared his throat. He leaned forward. He began talking before Emma could raise her hand. Emma lowered her eyes. Her lips stayed closed. Her ideas stayed trapped behind her teeth. After the meeting, she walked back to her desk. She opened her notebook. She wrote one sentence. "I should have said..." She closed the notebook like it had burned her. One afternoon, a major opportunity arrived. A national retail chain planned a multi-state expansion. They wanted predictive analytics to guide investments. It was the biggest client the company had handled all year. Ms. Reynolds pinned a printed memo to the announcement board. "Lead analyst, 1 position." People gathered in the hallway. They spoke in low voices. They pointed at the memo. David folded his arms confidently. "I'll draft an initial strategy," he said. Others nodded. Emma stood slightly behind the group. She read the memo twice. She pictured the models she had already built at night. She pictured the regional volatility she had discovered. She pictured her work sitting quietly inside her laptop like a secret. She didn't say anything. That evening, Emma sat at her dining table. City lights flickered through the window behind her. Traffic hummed below. She opened her laptop. She ran the model again. She adjusted variables. She refined charts. She named files carefully. Her phone buzzed. It was her older brother, Luke. "How's work?" the message read. Emma typed, "Big client, competitive." Luke replied, "Then compete." Emma stared at that word. She turned the phone face down. She pulled her notebook closer. She wrote another sentence. "If I don't speak, I don't exist." The next morning, Emma arrived before sunrise. The lobby lights were dim. The security guard nodded as she tapped her card. The elevator rose in silence. Emma entered conference room 3B alone. She connected her laptop to the projector. She opened her slides. Her face reflected faintly in the blank screen. She stood in front of empty chairs. She practiced out loud. "Our predictive model shows a 15% underestimation," she said. Her voice sounded small at first. She cleared her throat. She straightened her shoulders. She spoke again, slower and clearer. She practiced a sentence without apology. She practiced not starting with "sorry," but she practiced pausing instead of rushing. When footsteps echoed in the hallway, she minimized the slides and sat down, heart beating fast. Later that morning, the team gathered. Ms. Reynolds folded her hands. "Before we finalize our proposal structure, does anyone have additional analysis?" Emma lifted her hand first. The motion felt unnatural, then decisive. "Yes," she said. She stood. She walked to the projector. A blue graph filled the screen. "There's a recurring demand spike in Q3 across 3 regions," she explained, pointing. "If we adjust pricing early, projected ROI increases by 9%. The room went quiet. David frowned slightly. He leaned forward. "Where's that assumption coming from?" he asked. Emma clicked to the next slide. She showed the raw data. She showed the cleaned data. She showed the sensitivity test. Ms. Reynolds watched carefully. "Walk us through your logic," she said. Emma did. She answered one question, then another. She didn't rush. She didn't shrink. When she returned to her chair, her palms felt warm. Ms. Reynolds nodded once. "Strong work," she said. 2 words, but Emma wrote them down later like proof. The week moved quickly. Rumors floated across desks. "David's leading." "No, Emma. Reynolds hasn't decided." Emma didn't relax. She prepared. She built backup slides. She printed hard copies. She labeled a folder, Client Plan A. She labeled another, Client Plan B. Then a twist arrived. Corporate headquarters announced a surprise executive review. The team would present in the main auditorium. Bright stage lights, rows of chairs, a giant screen. Ms. Reynolds approached Emma before the session. "You'll present the forecasting segment," she said. Emma's pulse jumped. She nodded once. She walked to the podium. She placed her notes flat. She adjusted the microphone. Her reflection appeared huge behind her. For a split second, her mind whispered, "Step back." Emma pressed her fingertips to the podium and inhaled. She began. Her voice carried farther than before. She clicked through slides steadily. She paused on key numbers. She used her hand to trace a trend line on the screen. Halfway through, the projector flickered. The screen went black. A murmur spread. A technician rushed forward. Emma looked at the blank screen. She closed her laptop gently. She stepped slightly away from the podium. "Our strongest projected growth," she said clearly, "is in the southern corridor, where seasonal demand peaks at 22%. She described the chart from memory. She explained the assumptions without visual aid. She answered a question while the screen stayed dark. When the screen returned, she continued smoothly. Afterward, a senior executive approached her. "Excellent presentation with more insights," he said. Then he walked away. Emma stood still for a second, breathing slowly. She touched the edge of her notebook like a grounding stone. A week later, Ms. Reynolds called Emma into her office. Blinds were half open. Sunlight cut across the desk. "The client has requested you as lead analyst," Ms. Reynolds said. Emma blinked. "You've earned it," Ms. Reynolds added. Emma left the office slowly. She walked back to her desk. She sat down carefully, like her legs were learning a new rhythm. David looked up from his screen. "Congratulations," he said. Emma nodded. "Thank you," she replied. She didn't laugh it off. She didn't deflect. She didn't apologize for winning. After the meeting with Ms. Reynolds, Emma walked to the restroom. She stared at herself in the mirror. Same glasses, same bun, but her posture looked different. steadier. She didn't whisper, "I should have." She whispered, "I did." Here is what Emma discovered. Confidence is not volume, it is clarity. It is preparation, meeting opportunity. It is choosing visibility over safety. You do not need to dominate a room, you need to participate in it. Brilliance hidden behind silence helps no one. And the world does not automatically search for quiet excellence. It responds to visible courage. So the next time you sit at a table, in a classroom, or in any room where your work matters, don't rehearse your regret afterward. Lift your hand. Stand up. Say your insight. Because the moment you choose to be seen, your growth begins. Not because you became louder, but because you became braver.